So, it's a subscriber request. It's Cardi B and Saweetie Oscar after party shenanigans. So, yeah, I did a quick breakdown. I'm not going to say her name right, so therefore I'm not going to say so, it's a subscriber request. It's Cardi B and Saweetie Oscar after party shenanigans. So, yeah, I did a quick breakdown. I'm not going to say her name right, so therefore I'm not going to say it. Y'all read it on the board. But anyway, the first name, it breaks down to Pluto, as y'all can all see. Middle name breaks down to the Sun. Last name breaks down to Mercury. So when we breaking down the birthday, mind you, in previous situations, but we're going to just give you the keywords to get through this. So this is, in the first name, the energy comes down to Pluto. Transformation, selflessness, compassions, and endings, right? This is not in totality. This is just looking at the situation. So anyway, the middle name, we coming into the Sun, right? So that's pioneers, beginnings, individuality, and leadership. And then you have Mercury that comes up as like flexibility, change, freedom, and sensation. I'm not talking about the energy between them yet. I'm just breaking it down. So when you're looking at the high and low, mind you, you know, that's Libra energy right there. And her Libra drops down in Saturn. Now, if you're looking at it in tarot, you got the major is Justice and the minor is the Three of Swords, which I'm gonna talk about later. But anyway, into the birthday. So overall, the birthday equals 2013. I'm not sure what she might have been doing in 2013 or what the energy was around her because I didn't get into it. But anyway, the year breaks down into 6. And her high and low number, which I didn't put up here, but her high and low number also breaks down into 6, which brings you into Venus, which is, you know, a quick discussion, nurturing, sharing, family, and home, which, you know, you see that a lot. Oh, actually, you do see the high and low. So anyway, you break the birthday down into, you got the Sun, which is matching. Then you have, she has the 11 and 2, which brings you into the Moon, which, you know, brings you into that secret aspect, hidden information, knowledge, you know, spiritually tapped in kind of thing. Now, Jupiter comes up twice, 21 and 3, 21 and 3, which is interesting because when you look into the Oscars, you got 21 and 3, 21 and 3, which kind of gives you like energetically like I'm supposed to be a part of the Oscars. I am the Oscars. The Oscars is me. Period. Her energy matches that Oscar energy, so she should have been there. And that's where she was at. And that's what she was doing. So when you get into her Cardi B, you have it matching her middle name energy. Also, when you come into the B, you got the Moon, and she has a moon up there, you know, in its regular frequency. So that's her feminine water principle. And you have that Mars energy, which is her aggressive energy, right? So when we talking about Mars, you talking about, yeah, the warrior, success, power, and achievement, which she did all of that already. She got that done, clearly. So let's go on to Saweetie. Now, when you're talking about Saweetie, the thing that's interesting about her is that she has a lot of master numbers in her numerology. Anyway, so we have the first name, Diamond. That already, that comes down to a master number, 33 and 6. Then we the middle name, which I made both of these the middle name, which comes to 65, which is 11 and 2. So we, she a high frequency, naturally. The last name comes into 12 and 3, which brings you into Jupiter. Her high and low numbers is going to match. So 110, you break that down, that's 2. That's the moon in regular energy. And then you have, the master, 11 and 2. Then you get into the date of birth, and that equals out to 2002. And I don't know what she was doing in 2002 and didn't think to look for 2013 or 2002. But anyway, it breaks down into 4, which is a Saturn. So we have, who else? The birthday, Uranus and Neptune, the moon, water, you got Pluto, water, high and low. High number 31 and 4 is Saturn, which matches 2002. So it'll be interesting. The low number's gonna match. Now, Saweetie matches 33 and 6, which is with the first name matches. So that's letting you know that she has a high frequency energy, and because they both have so many master numbers, it's so many master numbers, I decided to look at something differently. But let's look at the party. The party date, 3/10/2024, breaks down to 2037, breaks down to 12/3, which is a fire energy, right? So when you talk about Jupiter, you're talking about communication, creativity, and expression and growth. So we're going to look and see where the friction is at after that. So the day breaks down into the sun, which is 1. And of course, when you're dealing with the Oscars, everybody is in suspense. Oscar, who's not? The people at the Oscars already know whether they're going to get an Oscar or not, or an award or not, whether people like to believe it or not. But anyway, then you have 13 and 4, which is pretty much just me adding it up the way I added up. I didn't feel like going through the whole breakdown, but we got Saturn again, and we have Mars again. So let's talk about Saturn. So Saturn pops up. That's the assault to the Earth, process and stabilization. So now, let's go back. Cardi, her major is justice. So if you're looking at this in a positive energy, then this is like law, balance, communication, fairness, and harmony and truth. But in the negative aspect, this would be like dishonesty, injustice, irresponsibility, and so on and so forth. Now, when you look at her minor arcana, which would be the 3 of Swords, that lets you know that she's, throughout her little cycle, heartbreak, disappointment. In the reverse, it's like recovering from heartbreak or learning to recover from heartbreaks, disappointments, things like that. Now she lands in Saturn, so it lets you know that these are the things about her that has to be processed and stabilized when you get into that. Now let's look at Sweet. And mind you, she got one master number. And, so that lets you know that that's where her energy is stable there. She's intuitive all by herself. That's just how she is. She's still going to follow her intuition one way or the other. I'm not sure if, not being funny, but to have all of these master numbers in, they have to be mastered. And they may not have been at this point. So anyway, Saweetie in the water energy. Mind you, we know that air and water does not always mix well when you're dealing with people that's, very vocal and aggressive, and that's that vocal aggressive energy right there. So people can tend to get offended, and it can tend to create friction between two individuals, especially when they're in such high frequencies anyways. So anyway, the minor. The major for Saweetie was the Chariot. So in a positive view of the Chariot, it's control, traveling, mysteries, trying to balance out in between. And the negative aspects is like negativity and confusion and passiveness. The minor for Saweetie is the 3 cups, the 3 of cups. So this is, I like to celebrate still, friends, positive energy, that kind of thing. But in the reverse is this loyalty, betrayal, and rejection. And she lands in Mercury. When I was looking into it, Mercury still brings you into the Magician, which goes together with all of these master numbers. So therefore, either she's still learning how to master all of the different elements of herself so that she can manifest into reality, whether that's in a positive way or a negative way. There would be said between them, first off, because they both high ass energies. That's one. Two, there may have been a discussion or a feel of imbalance or injustice or not fairness, or just little catty nonsense like, I'm Cardi, I'm supposed to be here. It's what it is, right? It could be simply just that. But it could also just be the way they communicate with each other. Cardi got that aggressive, I'm gonna tell you straight up kind of energy, and so in her way she do too. But it's easier to throw them in their emotions around each other. I'm not saying that the fight actually happened, because this is on the internet and it's a request. But what I will tell you is that if there is ever one, it's because they high ass frequencies and they very outspoken and aggressive in their own way, and they both feel like their place is valid. Now, when you look at Saturn, it's talking about the world. So when you're looking at this conflict, it's like, I've already been doing this. I've been here, done that. I'm at these Oscars. I'm at this Oscars party. I am it, and that's valid, and it's the point. And that's that typical Cardi vibe, right? So it's like, I've already experienced this. None of this is new to me. I've been there, done that, been around the world, traveled the world, been around these people, all this other stuff. So, they standing in their energy. But it might have just been a conversation or a dispute of not feeling treated right, or one feeling like, you better than me at the moment, or you hotter than me at the moment, or some type of distrust or disloyalty felt between the two. If that is even the case, they energies is like that. That's just how they are. Now, that because she had a lot of master numbers, that she's more spiritually tapped in or more spiritually inclined, but it just lets you know that she got hella potential in different areas. And so therefore that Magician definitely matches. But because they got such a mixy energy, right, I decided I was going to look at the atmosphere associated with the planets that's associated with them. So Cardi has Saturn, which is a gas planet. So the only element that they really have in common, the only element that they have in common is hydrogen. Period. And so in Cardi's, in Saturn, which is a gas planet, she has 96% in hydrogen. In Saweetie's, she's in Mercury and is a terrestrial, and it's 22%, which is then because 22 is also a master number, right? Now, when you look at the difference in the percentage, is 11% difference. So that just lets you know how high their frequencies are, or naturally are, regardless of the fact. But she just got hella master energy in there to deal with. Period. And so it shouldn't be looked at as competition or a reason to fuss and fight, but more so a way to figure out how to balance it out. Because that's what it is. When you throw Cardi's scales off, then all hell breaks loose. Period. And when you throw her emotions off, Sweetie's emotions off, or she feels like you coming for my neck, because she still has an aggressive energy, just not as, you have to tip her waters for real. And again, it's just a natural thing. When you think of them, when you're dealing with in the minors, you would say, the Queen of Swords kind of energy, that's that double, that air, water energy. And then you would look at her like the Knight of Swords kind of energy. So It's a matter of balance between the two. But I would say if there was a beef, it was just, you know, you said something I don't like, or I feel betrayed, or I feel like something isn't fair in between the two. Maybe I'll throw the bones on it later. But anyway, this is one part of it. So therefore, I had to go into it a little bit more. So therefore, I decided I was going to add up all of the elements to see what I get. So in the air, you got the 10 and the 1. So I'm looking at like the Ace of Swords. So, you know, the conflict probably started off with some words. And so, or thoughts or agreements, whatever. But also, that makes you look at the 10 of Swords, which means, okay, if I'm arguing with you, if it's going to, it's a dead issue. We're not talking no more. You know, or maybe feeling stabbed in the back or violated in some type, shape, form, or fashion, especially when it comes to communication. So then when I look at how I woke up 9 times. So this is about, you know, comfortability, being stubborn energy, spoiled energy. You know, sometimes it could be selfishness, but it also, and materialistic, but, you know, it can also be opposite, selflessness. And, you know, people tend to get stubborn. And you could definitely say these could be 2 stubborn energies if you push them against each other. So therefore, we got the fire that came up 16 times, break down to the 7. So you're looking at the 7 of Wands there. So that's the discussion of competition, challenges, struggles, and insecurities. Could being at the Oscars or being at the after parties create insecurities between. Could it be, you know, that little catty competition challenge kind of thing where Cardi's like, oh, I've been here, done that, did this, I met this, and we're here to, you're not gonna challenge me kind of energy. It could be simply that. So then I look at the Earth, and I'm looking at the 5 of Coins. So, you know, this is like a discussion of loss of material, or support, assistance, stuff like that. So it could be, oh, this fight done caused the loss of support, either from Saweetie to Cardi or to Cardi to Saweetie, because right now Cardi is still mainstream regardless of the fact. It probably would be the other way around. But anyway, at the end of the day, when you're looking at the elements, the dominant still, you know, the dominant out of that came to Saturn and Mars. So if we're looking at Saturn, and Mars, you know, earth, fire kind of energy. One overpowering the other one is going to create complete mess, period. So, you know, it would be a matter of communication in the aggressive energies. And then being such high frequencies and emotional naturally and moody naturally, but still very creative at the end of the day. And very competitive at the end of the day. So therefore, that's what I got. I would say that it was simply a matter of, I don't like how you talking, I don't like how you coming, I don't like how you moving, you know, that kind of thing. That's that kind of energy. Like you can't say this to me because I'm gonna snap, or I'm gonna snap right back at you, because, you know, that's just how it is. It's regular, typical old female catty stuff that people get into. Will they make up? If you're dealing with the stubbornness of a Libra, Libras, you know, they have these stubborn ways, but you can also tip their scales, and they can tend to reason. Water signs, you know, they move in their emotions, but it still can be tipped. They would have to literally balance out. They dispute out in a way where they both can agree. Period. The scales have to level out. It's just that simple. They would have to both agree or agree to disagree and move on and let bygones be bygones, or hold on to it. It would just be that simple. But anyway, I'm off here. Talk to y'all later. Deuces. It is me, NBT.